Today's topic is how to plot lot in Autocad. In manual, we are using protractor, RT, square, pencils, and other drawing instrument for us to properly plot any lot bearings that are given. For this particular exercise, we have this activity number 2. We have 4 pointed lot. We have point number 1 to point number 2, wherein our distance on those points will be 40 meters going east, and then come point 2 going point number 3 will be 27.20 meters, that is north, 6 degrees going east. And then we have points 3 to 4, that is 40.10 meters, that's south, 86 degrees going west. Point number 4 going to point number 1, okay, that will be 24.20 meters, that is south, 7 degrees going west also. Before we start plotting this object or this lot, we have to set first our layers. What are layers? If you're going to organize your objects in AutoCAD, it's better to set your layers, okay? Use layers to control the visibility of objects and to assign properties such as color and line type. Yes, you can have your objects visible on the screen. You can also have them invisible, and you can temporarily lower down your file size by using layers. One way to organize your objects is by assigning layers to them. Layers can be set particularly on objects that are clustered under cabinets, fixtures, electrical, doors, floor plan, even other spot details and other layout. Objects on a layer normally assume the properties of that layer. However, you can override any layer property of an object. A layer property consists of a color and line type and line weight also. So we're going to see them later. For example, if an object color property is set to by layer, the object displays the color of that layer. Say you have a layer for walls and your color is blue. So those objects that are drawn under that layer or created under that layer will be set to blue. If the object's color is set to red, the object displays as red, regardless of the color assigned to that layer. There are some chances wherein an object should be on a particular layer but must possess a different color property, such as the one stated here. But as my experience, I would really suggest that you stick with your layer colors. Again, for organization purposes and to cluster your objects accordingly. Okay, how to set layers? For this particular exercise, we're going to set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers first. Okay, but as we go along, these layers will be increasing because we have different activities that are needing more layers to set. Okay, so let's start. The command is LA, enter. So currently our layer is 0. This is the default layer. Every time you open a file starting from scratch, every AutoCAD file has a default layer name 0. Its color is white. Line type is continuous. Line weight is default. The default line weight of objects when they are printed is 0.25 millimeter. You can always change anything that is default. When we say default, this is something that is set automatically by the software or any program. Okay. Layers can also have color. Plots. Okay, they can be set to no plot or plot option. It only means that they are visible on the screen, but they are invisible when you print them. That is the no plot. Later we have one example for that. Okay. By the way, this is the layer properties manager. You can actually hold the palette here. Okay. You can always have it docked on the side. You can always have it floating, such as this one. Okay, you can always have it on an auto hide option by clicking this auto hide button here. So when you move your cursor or crosshair far away from the palette, it hides, and when you move closer it shows. But I still prefer it to be floating. I'm used to this setting. Anyway, this is user defined. You can always set on properties that you are comfortable. Okay, anyway, to start, we're going to add new layer. Okay, make sure you are set to upper cases. So the layer name is property line. Again, layer name is property line. Color, we're going to set it to color number 30. Okay, all of layers that are set for this course, all of the students will follow them. Okay, we will all be uniform with our layers. Color, name, properties, line type, line weight. You have to follow every exercises given for the layers. Okay, so when selecting color, specifically for setting layers, I would suggest you look for index color. Okay, index colors or colors found under index color tab are the colors that are distinguished by the printer or plotter. Although you can set other colors from tool color and color book tab, but I would really suggest index colors for layering purposes. Again, this is for printing and plotting your objects accordingly upon setting them on a particular color in this tab. Anyway, we have color number 30, that's 30. You can type it here and click OK. Okay, this is color number 30. Line type, by default, it's continuous, so you just have to click this one. You have to look for load. Okay, let's look for, we actually have tons of them. We have a numerous of line types default in Autocad, but we're going to use Phantom for this. So that's Phantom. Select OK, select it again, and then click OK. Set. For the line weight, by default again, all of the objects will be printed by 0.25 millimeter, such as objects are drawn manually on a 0.25 technical pen, but we're going to make it thicker than that. So you have to click that button, and this line weight dialog box will launch, and we have 0.7 to select. Okay, we are uniform with this. Okay, and then for the okay, I'm good with that. Just the color, line type, and line weight muna. Okay, so we're going to set another one. Just click that button and then type AR02 hidden. Okay, why AR02 hidden? AR stands for architectural objects. O2 stands for objects, particularly of architectural elements that will be drawn on a 0.2 millimeter, and it will be set in hidden. Okay, color is 160, so you just have to click this one. You can type here 160 and then click OK. So this is color 160. Okay, line type is no longer Phantom, but we're going to click load and look for hidden. You can actually type things here, but I still prefer scrolling it down. So look for hidden, click OK, select hidden, okay, and then click OK ulit. And for the line weight, we're going to make it a little thinner, that's 0.2. Usually kasi kinagamit natin yung mga hidden lines for reference purposes, or they can also be used that something is also designed underneath something or above something. Okay, so hidden lines represent something in our drawing. So again, that varies on the nature of presentation. Okay, next one, we're going to click the add new layer icon here. Next is hatch. Okay, color will be 122. Again, all of the layer colors will be uniform. Okay, so that's color 122, then OK. Line type, so we're going to use continuous for this one, so just select this and click OK. Line weight, hatches should be set always to the thinness of line weight, which is 0.05, because they are very dense in elements. That's why they are advised to be set on the thinnest line weight. Okay, so 0.05 and OK. And we're going to set a new one, that's text. Yes, we will be using text, and that is color red. Red is index color number 1, and these colors are also followed internationally. And then line type is continuous. Line weight is make it a little thicker, that's 0.30, because texts are very important part of our drawings and presentations. We cannot present something that is unlabeled. Okay, mahirap pag wala label. Next is viewport. Viewport. Okay, we're going to have that later for plotting purposes. Anyway, that is color number 51. So just type 51, then click OK. Line type is continuous. Line weight, maybe you can just set this one to default. Okay, bakit kaya default? Because we're going to set it to no plot. You see the printer or the plotter icon, you're going to click that to set this particular layer no plot. Okay, because we're going to have that layer for our references for the paper size when it comes to plotting. So we don't want the sort of reference for our paper to be printed. That's why we want it no plot, but we want it visible on our screen because it's a reference. Okay, anyway, we'll be creating first the property lines. That's why we will be double clicking the property line, so it will be set as the current layer. When we say current layer, all of the objects that are drawn will be set on this particular layer's property. Okay, so double click on that and let's start. So we're going to plot the lot using line. L, enter. First point. There are many ways to specify a point. You can either pick with your left button. You can either add a specific amount. You can actually guide your cursor with turning ortho on and with a specific direction. You can actually add bearings and angles. So let's see first. Specify first point. So for the first point, we're just going to pick anywhere on the screen. Okay. So that is just one click from your left button. Okay, there you go. As you can see, our line is in Phantom because the current layer is set in Phantom. Okay, now for the next point, kasi as you can see, this is our point 1. Yung pinik ko po, that is our point 1. We're going to plot point 2. The value of point 2 is 40 meters from point 1, and then it has an angle of east. So how are we going to pick that or enter that on the command line? So what you're going to do is to type the sign, the @ sign. You don't have to click your cursor here. Everything you type in AutoCAD would automatically go to the command line window. Okay, so that's @ distance, which is 40, angle sign. What's the angle going east? That is 0. Okay, so @ the distance of 1 to the next point, angle sign, what is the provided angle or bearing? So we are bound to east, that's why that's angle 0. Then press enter when you're good. Okay, so I just need to zoom out. I'll just have to scroll down my wheel a little. There you go. And point 2 going point 3. Let us check. We have a distance of 27.2. And our angle is N 6 degrees east. Okay, so that's @ again, the angle is, or the distance is 27.2. Again, the format is @ distance followed by angle sign and the required bearing, which is N 6 degrees east. That is N 6 DE. Again, if that is north is 6 degrees, you have to type N, which stands for north, 6 for the given angle, and D for the angle sign, and letter E because our point is going northeast. Okay, so that's at 27.2. You don't have to type M for meters. Automatic na po nakaset sa units natin yan. Okay, so enter. There you go. We have point 3. We're going to point 4. What is the point value of point 4? First, we have a distance of 40.10. So for us to enter that will be @ sign 40.10, the distance of the current point to the next, followed by the angle sign. And again, our angle is south 86 degrees to west. So that is S 86D going west. And enter. Now, for the last point to meet our first, you don't have to pick the endpoint. Okay, if you are plotting the lot, it is advisable to plot the exact distances and bearings. Okay, so we have to type how many? That's 24.20 for the distance. Okay, so that's at sign 24.20, angle sign, and our given bearing is S7 degrees west. So that's S70W. Okay, I hope you follow. Then press enter. And another enter. Just a reminder, make sure that you are using the same file from the previous activity. Okay, and don't forget to do Ctrl S or quick save. You can do that with your keyboard, or you can simply click the quick save icon on your quick access toolbar. Just simply click once. Okay, now we're good, but we just have to zoom in here. There you go, there is a gap. Common lang po yan pag nagpa-plot tayo ng lot. Kung ganito lang po yung nakikita nyong gap, wala pong problema. Okay, pero pag medyo malaki yan, nasa 2 meters, 1 meter, magtaka ka na. Okay, so there might be something wrong with the lot bearings provided. Pero usually naman, those points are established. Bihira naman po nagkakaproblema. Anyway, once we're done, we're going to mark our points. Let's see. So this is point 1, point 2, point 3, and point 4. And each points, they will be marked with a what? With a circle and a cross line. So let's see. I have an existing file here for that. So let us determine first. Have to type for probably QP, or not, maybe distance na lang. DI enter. Just have to determine the length of this one. Okay, so just have to adjust this. There you go. It has a length of 3.75, or maybe we can close it to 4. And the circle has a diameter of 1.8, so we can close it by 2. Okay, let's go back. And then as you can see, you already have the lines drawn under the property line layer. Okay, now my lines are in phantom because ganun po yung sinet natin earlier, but there might be chances that your LTS command is probably set on a different value. I'm going to change this amount into 2. Enter. So what did you see? We have a bigger adjustment on the line type. Again, that's LTS enter. Make it 3 and look at the changes. There you go. Let's repeat. LTS, I want a smaller amount, 0.75. Okay, so that's the purpose of LTS command, or line type scale. This command is applicable to objects that are set on a different line type aside sa continuous. Okay, so ulitin ko, LTS, I prefer 1 for this particular object. Okay, anyway, we're good with the lot itself. So let's go with AR hidden. So set it current. You will see here layers, although I have to check, or I have to currently having 3D with my user interface. So I'm going to switch my workspace here. All of the AutoCAD programs as installed, they have this workspace. I'm currently working with drafting, so I better be using the workspace intended for drafting, so my tools are more accessible that are intended for 2D drawings, because these ones are intended for 3D. So it's advisable to select which one suits your current work activities. Okay, so drafting. There you go. I just have to duck this one. Yeah. Okay, I prefer it that way. Again, user preference naman po yan, kung saan tayo comfortable. Anyway, we have here on the ribbon, this is the ribbon, okay? And these are the ribbon tabs. Okay? Usually, lagi tayong sa home. Okay, these are the ribbon panels. Yan, this is the draw panel, modify panel, annotation, layers. Let's go here. Going to select AR2 hidden. Okay, I'm going to create a line. L enter. Dito na lang. This is 4. And L enter. I just have to pick 1. And since my ortho is on, so hilahin lang. 4 enter. Okay. I just have to select this one, click the grip, and drag it in the midpoint. Okay? And then I'm going to move this one. M. enter. When we say M, that's a shortcut command for move. When we move, we relocate objects, okay? So, select objects. Ano daw objects? Yung papalitan mo ng location or yung i-move mo. So, select this two, enter. You are prompted to specify what? Base point or hawakan. I'll be picking here, and I'll try to pick here, okay? Because that is the second point of displacement or bagong location niya. There you go. Okay? Now, instead of doing those two vertical lines that will serve as our marker, I just have to what? Duplicate them by copy command. Okay? So, the shortcut again is CO, enter, select this and this, enter, and I'll be picking on the end point because this is my base point or hawakan. And second point or point of displacement or kasaan yung destination ng mga ikakopy mo. So, end point here. Pan, you can press your middle mouse and pick here. You can actually turn off your ortho if you want. Pero ako kasi okay lang naman kahit naka-on or off. And I'll just be snapping here. Dito sa point 1. There you go. And enter and Control S. Now, what we have here are just the line markers. I prefer sana na may circle siya sa loob. We could have created the circle before we have copied para simultaneous, but I also want you to see how to create circles again and again. Okay, so let's see. I'll zoom here. The shortcut command to create circle is C, enter. Center point. This will be the center. Okay, pick ko yung gitna ng marker natin. And then we are prompted to specify radius. Earlier, yung radius natin, we have already set it to 2. Or sorry, the diameter is 2. So, technically, if diameter is 2, so technically radius is half of your diameter. So, that's 1. Enter. Okay? So, zoom out. Press your middle mouse to pan. O, dito ulit. Ulitin ko lang. To create a circle, that is C. Enter. You are prompted to specify center point or yung pinakagitna niya. Sentro. Okay? So, pick on the midpoint and then specify diameter or the radius. Pwede naman kayong magtansya. Okay? You can always make assumptions. But, again, we have a specific radius of 1. So, press enter to accept this one. Yun po yung nagiging default because on the previous circle command, we have enter this amount. Okay, so this one will be set as default. Anyway, just press enter. Okay, next thing is, you just have to pan ulit. Or maybe we can copy na lang. Okay, so CO, enter. So, which one to copy? Eto, yung circle po. Select, enter, base point or hawakan. We're going to pick sa midpoint. Pwede rin siyang sa endpoint. Okay? So, we pick here midpoint and last one here. Okay? Click. Enter. So, that's Control S. Next. Almost andyan na siya. But, we're going to fill first our enter property with hatch. So, let us change our text. Or sorry, our layer. Let's go with hatch. Okay. Again, the shortcut command to create hatch is age. Enter. So when the command is active, this will display on your ribbon. Okay. We will be using user define. Okay. And then, I'll be picking here sa gitna. Okay. And then, as you can see, I have a separate color here. Because dun sa mga iba kong ginawa earlier, I have used a different color. But I have to click here and set it to by layer. Kasi meron po tayong inassign na particular color for this object. Okay? So, let's see. Afterwards, I'll have this at 135. Enter. And probably reduce this one at 0.80. Okay, this particular box here is called the spacing. Okay, yung spacing po is yung distance ng one element to the next. So let's make this at 0.8 probably. Yan, I'm good with that. So I will no longer be checking double. Okay na ako dun sa kanina. So off ko lang to. Just in case baka yun sa inyo naka-on. I'll just close. If you want, kung gusto nyo i-fill up yung sa loob, pwede. Kaya lang kung napansin niyo, di ba, we have an open area here. I have mentioned before that you can attach something open. Kaya lang, sinarado siya ng circle. Kumbaga, the area is already closed by the circle object. Kaya naging possible yung operation. Although it's possible na malal na kamaliit, but I doubt kung hindi maghahang kasi there are times na baka maghang siya pag meron naka-open na part ng object mo or boundary mo. Okay? Anyway, I'll try to save again. Let's Control S. After the layers and after the property itself, the lot itself. Okay, let's see what's next. We have the text objects. Okay, text objects are part of architectural presentation. Okay, because you have to label things. Now, in AutoCAD, how do we do it? Hindi po siya kamukha nung sa Microsoft Word. Okay, meron siyang different setup. Now, we have here, yan, as you can see, text objects. Ayan po. We have Dtext command. It creates a single line text object. Usually, pagdating sa architectural presentation, pagle-label ng rooms, paglalagay ng specs, paglalagay ng elevation lines, pagle-label ng mga spot details, ginagamit po natin yung Dtext. We have another object in AutoCAD for text. It's called the multi-line text or mtext. You can use this on different objects, text objects, sort of pwede siya sa mga plumbing notes, architectural notes, structural, all yun nga, if they are multi-line. Okay, if meron kailangan i-type na paragraph po doon sa working drawings natin, you can use mtext. But again, for technical working drawings and for detailing, mas ginagamit po yung Dtext or single line. For this time, gagamitin muna natin yung Dtext. Okay, saka na po yung mtext. Anyway, before that, we're going to set our own style. Although there is a default text style in AutoCAD, but we're going to create our own. Okay? Dapat alam nyo pa rin paano mag-set ng sarili ninyo. Ano yung purpose ng style? Basically, for drafting standards, pwede rin siya as identity, pwede mo siya as preference mo, or pwede rin siya as company standards. Meron kasi mga company na ito lang yung fina-follow nilang text. Okay? Some, ginagamit nila yung specific na text object kasi yun yung preference nila. But, again, when you label things in architecture, make sure that they are readable. Remember, a good presentation always have a good readability. Okay? Kung hindi readable yung plan mo, kahit maganda pa yung concept mo, walang pinag-uusapan. Okay? And we were going to set a a text style. Okay, the shortcut for that is ST. We're going to create or we're going to click new. Although may default, yung standard or parang layer 0 yan na before mo pa siya iset, nakaset na siya sa program. Okay, so meron siyang new and then you have to select for the font theme. We have a lot of fonts available in AutoCAD. Kasama po sila pag in-install. Some font style can be in regular. They can also be in bold and italic. Height, I better suggest or advise that you leave this to 0. Okay? Wag niyo po gagalawin. There are many ways to add height to your text aside here. Kasi once we have added a particular height here, chances hindi na natin siya mapapalitan. Nakalock na lang siya doon. And this will be the viewer. Okay? Yung pong kinreate nating style, makikita natin dito. Effects, let's see later. Width factor, default is 1. Same with height. Width factor and oblique angle, they should just be set as default. Okay, we have a different way to modify that. Kasi pag nilagay mo sila dito, nakalock na. Unless, prefer mo silang nakalock. Okay? Now, for the angle, okay, if you want a readable text, all of the text naman na binabasa natin, they are oriented towards 0. So, if the angle is naka-orient ng 0, ito po yung pagkaka-setup niya. This is 45, this is 90, this is 135, this is 180, kabaligtaran po siya ni 0. This is 225, this is 270, and this is 315. Okay? So, karamihan po ginagamit is itong tatlo. Okay? So, again, hanggat maaari, make sure that your texts are properly set when it comes to readability, when it comes to the style. Remember, architectural presentation is formal presentation. You cannot use monotype cursiva. You cannot use Mistral or Pristina. Dapat po similar sa mga lettering guide. Okay? Now, aside dun sa orientation ng mga text, one of the most important thing also is the justification. Okay? All of the texts are default in left justification. Okay, eto po. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-type ka, dito siya magfa-flash. Okay? Tapos, papunta siya sa right. Yung iba, galing sa right. But most of architectural texts are set to middle center. Yung iba hindi ginagamit. I really have to say, I don't use top left, middle left, and so on. Ito lang po yung ginagamit ko. Left, middle center, and right. Okay? So, parang ganito po sila. Justification. Okay? If your justification is left, this is how they look like. Kung multi-line yan. Pero karamihan kasi, sabi ko nga, we will just be using a single line text. We have right justification and center. Okay? And meron din pong full justification. I-discuss ko to pag sa multi-line text na. Pero for now, we will be using Dtext lang po. Okay? Let's go back with Autocad. Now, we're going to set a text style. Currently, our hatch is set current as layer. Yung color niya, eto. Pag nag-set ka ng style, ibig sabihin yung style na yon, masiset po siya or nakalock siya sa ganitong color. So, for our text objects and text style to be changeable when it comes to properties, lalo na sa layer, set muna natin yung layer 0. Okay? Later na po natin i-set yung text sa layer 0 muna para yung color niya napapalitan. Anyway, that is ST. Enter. Meron tayong existing which is a standard. Okay? That's why when you type the command DT, ayan, I'll be picking here and press enter and enter. Okay. Pag nag-type ako, that is the default text style. Having used or using the default is fine, but I want you to know how to set your particular text style. Okay? So that's ST, enter. So we're going to click new. So just type Autocad text 1. Okay? Kasi we're going to set dalawa. Okay, pili tayo. I prefer Arial narrow kasi merong mga parts ng drawing na lalo na kung medyo maliit lang. Ayoko kasing nadado. Again, please make sure that the text doesn't dominate your drawings. Okay? Because you are presenting drawings, not the text. So, I still prefer Arial narrow because they don't consume too much space. Okay? Now, you can use this one also. Uniform muna tayo. Font, meron sila nandito. But again, I still prefer it as regular. Kasi if the texts are in bold or in different, they might create confusion. Or as you go along, you will see the importance or the different setup for this and which one will suit your presentation. Again, height is 0 with factor. Sige. Let's say, lagay ko siya sa 2. Ayan po. Okay, let's say I'm going to put it at 0.7. Okay, but again, let's restore it to default. Obliquing angle, let's have it at 25. So there you go. So I guess I better have it at 0. Kasi if they are in oblique angle, if you have set an oblique angle greater than 0, again, they consume too much space. Okay? Now, for the effects, upside down, backwards, kung talagang ayaw mo ma-approve yung drawing na pinrepresent mo at i-disapprove the client, Okay, so better uncheck this too. So, pinakita ko lang. Anyway, just click apply para ma-save. Let's make another one. That's Arcad text. O2. Click OK. And then click here. So, one of the best text that I really use is Century Gothic. Okay? Nakita nyo, yung mga pinipili kong font name, font style, they are readable. Wala silang ganong palabok. Okay? Do not present using this one. Okay? Do not also try presenting your drawing using the Comic Sans. No. Okay? Do not try using the Forte. No. Okay? Use something that is easy to read. Huwag mong gawing komplikado yung mga bagay-bagay. Okay? So, again, that's Century Gothic. I'll just have it regular. Okay? Parang Coke and fries lang yan. Height, again, is do not lock this. Nakita nyo na yung effect ng width factor. Nakita nyo ng oblique. Just click apply. And then, we're going to click Arcad text. Double-click it. Set current. Okay? And we're good. Just click close. And then, from here, nakapag-set na tayo ng text cell na gagamitin natin. So, from here, we're going to use the text layer. Okay? So, select text layer. And then, from there, we're going to create our text objects. Okay? So, again, we're going to use the Dtext kasi we will just be creating single line text. That's DT enter. Current style, Arcad text 01 as I have set earlier. Text height is 0.2. We're going to change that later. Maybe we're going to make it at 0.4. Doon tayo sa justify. Okay? We actually have many of them. Let's use the default. Okay? So, enter text and option. So, I'll just pick one here. Okay? Or maybe I'll just click left muna. Then specify start point of text. So I'll just pick here. Okay. Specify text height. Let's make it at 0.4. Enter. Rotation angle, be it at 0. So press enter. Okay. So I'll just zoom in. That's 0.01. And enter, enter. Okay. So masyado siyang cute. Okay. How do we resize it? Ganito. I'll be introducing one of the many editing tools in AutoCAD. It's very useful. It's called Properties. So, tinype ko lang po yung PR, then nag-display po yung Properties palette. You can have it actually floating. Yan. Parang yung layers palette kanina. You can also have it, yan, drag nyo lang sa gilid. Pwede yun rin po siyang, yan, naka-duction yan or naka-lock. Pwede rin siyang auto-hide. Okay? Pag nilalapit mo siya, nag-display. Or I'll just have it on the dock setting. Now, I'll just be selecting the object first kasi wala, ayan, no, nakalagay no selection. So, select it first with your cursor or pre-select. After pre-selecting it, I'll just have to scroll downwards. Yan. Sa text tab, you will see contents niya, it's 0.1. So, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang palitan dito. Say, yan. Or, balik ko siya. Escape ko lang. The current style, pwede rin siyang palitan dito. Say, I wanted Arcad text 2. But I still prefer the text 1. Kasi we will be using the text 2 for captions. Pag naglalagay na tayo ng title sa mga activities. Okay, justification is left. Ito yung height. Currently, it's 0.4. Try natin gawing 1. Enter. So, ayun, nag-resize po siya. Okay? O, palitan pa natin 1.2. The height of your text varies also. Okay? Depende din po siya kung gaano kalaki yung object or yung drawing mo. Okay? Rotation, currently it's 0. If I want it to be 45, just type 45, enter. If I want it 90, enter. So, balik ko siya sa 0. Class, you can modify anything here in properties. Lahat ng objects sa AutoCAD, they can be modified using the properties palette. Okay? Obliquing, ito yung sinasabi ko. wag nyo siyang ilock dun sa style. Kasi dito, pwede naman siya lagyan, just in case kailangan. Ayun, 15. Then, there you go. If I want it negative 10, so, ayun po siya. Okay? So, anyway, I'll just back it, or I'll just put it at 0. So, okay na ako dito. Same with height, di ba? Sabi ko, wag nyong gagalawin. Kasi, you can always have other commands or editing tools to edit your objects. Okay? So, I'm good with that. Currently, nasa left siya. Okay? So, palitan ko lang. I'll just double-click this one. And then, itatype ko siya ng 0.01. Nakita nyo kung saan flash yung letter or nag-justify. So, I'll be pressing it, enter, enter. I'll copy it, 1 and 2. I'll select this one and set it to middle center. Dito ako sa justify, okay? So, sinelect ko siya. Ayan, no? Currently, naka-left siya. You can actually use this script to move it. Currently, it's set on left, but I'll be selecting middle center. Ito siya. Scroll it downwards. Look at the text object when I click this. Ayun, nagpalit. Okay? Escape. Ito naman yung select ko. Again, from the properties, I'll be changing it to right naman. Look at again the changes. Okay. So, I'll be moving it. Again, all of the text objects meron po silang grips depende dun sa justification nila. Everything has a grip here. Doon sa left bottom left. And meron din siyang another grip dun sa justification niya. This is right justification. This is center justification. And this is left. Okay? Escape ko lang. Let's see. Palitan ko to. Tignan nyo pag nag-type ako. 0.01. So, sa gitna lang po yung justification. Let's try this one also. This one isn't right. That is 0.01. So, nag-justify naman po siya sa right. Okay? So, I'll be pressing escape. And I'll be pressing E for erase. I'll be selecting this two. Hindi ko sila kailangan. So, enter lang. Okay? And for the meantime, I'll be closing this one. Okay? So, Control S. Select this and itapat ko lang siya dito. Okay? Yan. Okay? And then, afterwards, pwede ko siyang i-move. Kasi nagtatan siya. Okay? And then, I can pre-select it and Control C to copy. Okay, zoom out ako and lagay ko dito. Control V to paste. I'll be picking it and tapat ko lang dyan. Okay? Yan. Sorry, medyo may pagka-OC. Escape and double-click. Palitan natin si 0.01 ng 0.2. And enter. And enter. Or escape. So, just span. And Control V. Okay? Double-click to change the content. That's 0.3. Enter. Escape and Control V to paste. And double-click. That's 0.4. Okay? There you go. Sorry. Double-click. Make 0.3 to 0.4. And enter, enter. Control S. Okay? So, we're good with that. Next, lagyan naman po natin ng label yung dito natin. Okay? Label. Mas magandang may label yung mga bagay. Okay? Anyway, I'll be doing Control V ulit because still on my clipboard is the last object that I have copied using Control C. I'll be selecting this one. I'll be picking the midpoint. Okay? Para dun siya sa gitna. And I'll be turning my ortho on. Okay? And I'll be picking on the grip. Baba ko lang siya ng konti. Yan. And escape. Okay? So, itatype lang naman po ito. Okay? So, I'll just be highlighting that and Control C. Yes, that's possible. Double-clicking it to change the contents and Control V. Okay? And enter. And enter to terminate. So, isa pa. Control V. Lagay ko dito. Oh, sorry. Just have to erase this one. I'll just pick this one. Kasi pag meron, sorry, if I have copied the text from outside AutoCAD, that is mtext, okay? Anyway, I'll just be doing this. Dito na lang ako mag-copy kasi this is Dtext. Control C, Control V, another one here, Control V, and Control V. Okay? After that, I'm going to click this and pick some midpoint. Lahat, lalagay ko sa midpoint. Okay? Click and midpoint. Okay, there you go. And then, I want these text objects to align. Okay? So, instead na yung properties, introduce ko yung smaller version or a shortened version ni properties, which is QP. Okay? So, properties. Ito yun. So, enter. So, ano yung nakalagay? Ito yung contents niya. Palitan natin. So, punta ako dito. Yan. I'll copy this. Pero kayo, sabagay, pwede nyo namang i-copy because I will be giving you the PDF file. We can pick here and Control V. Enter. Okay? So, ayun. Nagpalit po siya ng contents. And, I'll be selecting a different style for this. I'll be using Autocad text too. Okay? I'll heighten a little for the text. I'll be making it 1.5. Okay? Rotation. Escape ko lang yan. Okay? I'll be typing DI. I'll be picking midpoint to midpoint. Okay? So, let's see the angle. Angle is at 27. So, let's see. QP. Enter. Select this. Enter. Okay, meron siya rotation. I'll be typing 27. Enter. Or sorry, that should not be 27. Hold on. DI. So this is 1 and 2. Okay. My angle, sorry, that should have been 84. Iba yung na-click ko. So QP. Enter. Select this. Enter. Palitan siya dito. This is 84. Enter. Okay? So, nag-align siya that way. And move it a little. Although, masyado siya napalaki. Maybe 1 meter na lang. Okay? So, class yung text height, magdidepende po sa area ng lot. Hindi po tayo para-pareho ng lot. So, it will vary. Make the necessary adjustment. If your lot is masyadong maliit or smaller than what I have presented to you, you opt for smaller text height also. Okay? So, I'll just press escape. Okay, dito tayo. Okay. So, I'll be highlighting that. Control C. Double click this and Control V. Okay. So, pati yung isa na. Highlighting it. Control C. And double click this. Okay, there you go. That's QP. Select this one. Enter. Okay, I'll be making the text height at 1. I'll be changing it to Autocad text 2. Text 02. There you go. And then escape ko lang. That's DI. Enter. Let's see the angle. So, you have an angle of 184. Or palitan natin. DI, dito tayo. 1 and 2. So, angle lang niya is 4. Okay? So, let's see. QP. Enter. Select this. Enter. And rotation is 84. Enter. Sorry, that's 4 pala. Sorry. 4 meters. Or sorry, 4 degrees. And move it a little. Okay. And escape. QP again. So, select this. Enter. So, again, just be making that one. This one is Autocad text 2. And then, let's identify the angle. So, DI. Enter. I'll be picking from, maybe from here. Pataas tayo. Yan. That's 83. QP. Select this, enter. And, palitan to. Okay. And escape. And move here. There you go. So, Control S. Copy tayo ng isa. I'll be pasting or I'll be copying CO. Select this, enter. Be picking sa gitna. Yan. Click, enter. Gusto ko sana gitnang-gitna siya. So I'll be selecting this object. As you can see, it has grips. So I'll be moving it by clicking that grip, and I'll be typing M2P. M2P stands for middle between 2 points. Okay? So M2P, enter, and first point of mid. So I'll be picking this one here and the other one here. Click. Yan. Nag-move po siya sa gitna. It's a very useful object snap option. So escape ko lang. Now, we have to change the kay ganito class. I believe baka nagkakaroon kayo ng visual issues dito sa hatch. So, temporarily, i-off muna siya ni ma'am. Okay? Pupunta ako ng layers. I-off ko muna siya. There you go. Okay? Baka kasi sa iba, masakit siya sa mata. Kasi ako napansin ko, sumasakit yung mata ko nung tinignan ko talaga siya. But, we have the option to turn things off with the aid of layers. So, ganun po sila ka-importante. Anyway, kailangan po natin makuha yung area ng lot natin. Okay? So, we have several ways. So, this is the first one. That's AA. Enter. We're going to pick the first point. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Enter. There you go. Ano po yung area niya? Ito siya. So, I'll be highlighting that and doing Control-C. Double-click this text we have copied here. And Control-V. There you go. Lagyan natin siya ng sq.empty. Enter, enter. And Control-S. There you go. And balik ako dito. I can always turn my hatch on. Hindi po siya nabura. Okay? Kumbaga sa nag-offline lang siya sandali. Okay? So, that's the first part for this activity number 2 on how are we going to convert our AutoCAD file into a particular paper size into PDF. That will be on the next video module. Okay? Thank you so much, and I will be providing the next one.